This is my 71 Duramax Jimmy project. I put this body on a shortened 2500 Suburban frame. I've built two Duramax swapped Yukon XLs. I chose to use a Suburban frame rather than a pickup frame because the HD pickup frame rear frame rails are so tall. I didn't want a lot of frame hanging under the body, so I was able to get the body lower on this Suburban frame. So I shortened however much out of the middle to get the right wheelbase, and then I cut some off the rear so that I could get the body as low as I want it. The 2500 Suburban front frame section is the same as the 2500 and 3500 pickups. So to bolt the Duramax in, you just need to change these mounts on the frame and move the transmission crossmember back. The lift kit is a 7-inch BDS I had on my first Duramax Yukon XL. The buyer didn't want the lift, so I took it off and put it on here. I'm trying to build this without having a fortune into it, so the frame was free from a Suburban I parted out. The lift kit was left over from that one that I sold. The engine, transmission, and transfer case came from a wrecked truck I think I paid $4,500 for and got a little bit of money back from everything I didn't need. I will leave all of that stock for now. I like the height that it's sitting at. That's about a 35-inch tire, so I'm going to put it on 35s at this height. Because I'm putting bigger tires on it, I don't want 373 gears. So this Suburban had 410s. I'm going to use that 410 front diff. And rather than put the 11.5-inch axle from a Duramax, I got a 410, 10.5-inch axle for a Suburban. The body's currently just sitting on some pieces of tubing to hold it at the height I want. This is about as low as I can get it. I'm going to box in where I shortened the center of the frame. And where I cut the rear frame member off, I need to weld a new one in, and those two rear body mounts will sit on that. So there's not a whole lot left to do to the chassis. I need to weld a tube in there, box that in, and build the body mounts. For my fuel system, I can't fit any of the stock tanks, so I think I'll put 2 aluminum fuel cells in the stock locations and just plumb the rear to drain into the front, and my lift pump will pull from the front tank. Like a lot of GMCs, this had a Chevy front end on it when I bought it, so I found some GMC fenders and a grill. The tub's in pretty good shape. It needs both rockers, of course, as always. This mismatched door was on it. I'm going to have to fill all these trim holes, patch a little bit of rust in the quarters. The floors are very solid though. So a little more fab on the chassis, a little bit of body work. I'll smooth the firewall. I'm going to get this to run, drive, and stop before I pull it apart to paint everything. So I need to do brakes, steering, exhaust, and wiring. I'm working on adapting a Hydro Boost. I'll get some joints in the shaft for the steering. I'm going to order manifolds, up pipes, and a down pipe. And then I will rebuild the harness. I'm trying to relocate as much as I can off the engine because I actually want to see the engine. So with a lift pump, I no longer need the stock filter assembly. I'm moving the FICM over there with the ECM and TCM. So this valve cover is now uncovered. I'm going to get a kit to move the upper radiator hose over here instead of the stock pipe that comes this way. And when I build the harness, I will just kind of try to reroute or hide as much of it as I can. And until I'll buy wheels and tires last, so I'll just leave it on these rollers that I've got. But I'll get it to run, drive, and stop. Then I can take it apart, blast and paint the frame, rebuild the front suspension and steering. I will smooth the firewall, put some aftermarket AC in it, and then I will clean up this engine. And I want to shave off all the bosses on the valve covers that I no longer need and powder coat the valve covers. I'm using a newer HD core support, which fits nicely width-wise, and at the height I have the body, it's at a good height. With the grill on, the factory hood latch, I think I can make a different mount here to bolt between here and the grill, and then I'll have to make plates for the headlights to bolt to. I'm also going to need to put a transmission cooler and AC condenser in here. And I'm kind of debating on bumpers. I don't think I want to use stock chrome bumpers. I'll probably build my own, whether out of plate or tubing. And some like rock slider steps on the sides, and I'll put a spare tire swing out in the back. So this is what I'm currently working on, and I will upload more videos as I make some more progress on it.